Hi. So, sorry, that was like really super loud. Um, I've got a cup of ice with water. So I'm staying hydrated this time. I just finished a whole entire chapter in my book. I admit it was only like 3 pages, but still, I finished it. And I'm very happy about it. Um, Next, we're gonna have a chapter where, what happens? Okay, so they're trying to go to Ashley and Chantel's grandparents' house. Oh, my hat's stolen. Dang it. Hold on. Sorry, Ben. Okay, if you can count a ponytail as a tail, I think I smacked him with it. Not smacked him, but, just got him with it. Um, I have him put his tail in a certain direction so it doesn't, um, so it's not in the way when I'm sitting in my chair. But it doesn't always work that way, so. Anyway, I've had a donut. I've got breakfast in the, well, not in the oven. I've got it, waiting for the oven, waiting for the preheat. And, yeah, that kind of thing. Um, so I'm like really, really happy. Because of the, chapter being done. I'm gonna try to get another one done before I have to go and help my father-in-law. Um, they are putting him on dialysis, and this is gonna be his first appointment, so we gotta be there at 3. So, if this gets cut short for any reason, it might be because, I mean, it's not going to be because it was 3, but because I got to get a shower first, and I usually do this first, and then do whatever I'm going to do for the day. And I found out that the litter box scoop gets, gunk off the tub. Although you gotta be careful because, I'm pretty sure when it gets down to the blue part instead of being white, it's not a good thing. But, yeah. So I can work on that a little bit today if I want. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Um, oh yeah. There's another reason why I want a perfectly, brand new battery. Not brand new, but, a fresh battery. Um, I've got a dumb question. Oh, and the gardener is out, so you might hear something really loud, and if you don't, good. Means my noise canceling headphones are doing the job. Okay. Well, actually, I probably only need one. Okay. So we're going to put that there. We're going to put that there. That there. And we're going to put that momentarily there. Then we're going to go here. See, because it's not really there in the first place. But normally, ta-da! So we were looking at this nice house. But the only problem with it is it's out a ways from Carson City. But it had land and it was a big kitchen, and it's it had like a big kitchen, and the rooms looked nice and everything. Hold on. Ugh. But then there was this other one that's brand new, and it's only $285,000. So I thought that was really cool. Okay. I don't think you need to do hash browns. 2 hash browns and 2 sausages for 22 minutes. So I'm going to check them at 20 minutes, see what they look like, and go from there. Now, if Piggy chooses to do so, he can come over and get out of that yard. What you doing, little mister? So, earlier, I don't know if Ben had, like, some kind of weird cat Alzheimer's or something, but Sam had not moved where he was at all. And Ben kept going, Sam, Sam. He's learned how to say his brother's name. I kid you not. And he's sitting there going, Sam, Sam. And it's like, he's still in the same spot, silly. Yeah, that's the thing I need. Okay. Okay, so just this morning, I finished piecing together the pieces of the chapter. I haven't, finalized it, actually downloaded it or anything yet. I mean, it sounded good to me, but I think I want to listen to it again because I was listening to it and watching Black Dog at the same time, which I will definitely be bringing back up on the TV later so I can actually hear everything this time. Only problem is that Okay, so the movie Point Break with Patrick Swayze has a lot of bad words in it. Um, words that you don't want your kids saying. Has a lot of bad words in it, and somebody was so awesome. They uh not bleeped them out. They used to bleep them out, so instead of them saying um bad words that start with F, uh you'd hear beep. Not somebody saying beep, but like a digital beep. So there'd be that. Kind of like when you're doing a hearing test, which I personally think I really, really, really want to do, because sometimes I just don't hear things correctly, and I believe in if you discover something that is wrong with your body, even if it seems silly because you're not that age yet, get it checked out. And it turns out that with our medical insurance, we can go and talk to the same doctors um, that my father-in-law uses over by the Chinese food restaurant. They are expensive, but it was good. Um, they were definitely expensive though. It was ridiculous. Especially with what I wanted. But but it would be nice to go there, if we could actually understand them. Because, there was definitely a language barrier there too. Um, but the thing was is that they were really good food, and they tasted like the Chinese food restaurant that we liked in Fairfield, California. Well, I liked it. I don't know that my husband ever ate there. Because it was too expensive for us to pay for. But me and my parents and my brother and my sister, not the one I play games with, the other sister, um, we'd we'd go there about once a month. Enough that we got recognized. Maybe it was more than once a month, but it was good food. But they had a lot more variety. Like they had cashew chicken and sweet and sour pork and lemon pork or yeah, maybe it was lemon chicken. Anyway, whatever. Um, I think okay, the one was sweet and sour and the other one was orange, I think. Anyway, it was so good. Um, I wish we could have. I wish they. My brother said that it tasted like they changed chefs. So it wasn't as good. That was back when he was dating his his wife that he has now, and that's the only wife he's ever had. um, I thought it kind of sounded like they're on shaky ground for a little bit there, but apparently it's all better. Or they're putting on a dang good front. I'm hoping that it's like they sorted it out and it's all good. But I have no idea. Oh, and I found out. I asked her to be a good one. But I found out that my sister is I believe she said DoorDash driver with her husband at the moment because his job doesn't start until July, I guess. Um, so they're doing that for money, and her plan is to keep doing that after he starts his job at the prison. So I'm hoping it works really good and that she doesn't get frustrated and that she at least gets enough money to pay all the bills. I know you probably don't get that much money from doing DoorDash, but I'm hoping that for her because she's never been in that position where she had enough money to pay all the bills, and you know, I want that for her. I really do. And and I don't remember having too much stability. I mean, for a while there, she didn't have that much stability. Her dad was a truck driver, so I'm not saying they moved around a lot. I'm just saying that they weren't home a lot. For a little bit there. Anyway, no, I want to say that she got left with her grandma, but then she goes and says that her dad took her, to other states in the truck, you know, um, while while working. I'm so confused. I don't remember any of that, but it's okay. I remember weird stuff like, um, I don't remember being okay. I don't remember being sick, but my mom says when we went to Oregon, I was about 3 years old. Although I remember my cousin being like 6. And he's only a year older than me, so that doesn't make any sense. Unless it wasn't my birthday yet. Like if we went in December. No, like if we went in January after his birthday, or or February or March. I just remember that there was snow on the ground, so it had to be in that area, I would say. Unless Oregon has, some people call it Oregon, if you don't know what I'm talking about. Um, um, yeah, I forgot what I was saying. Anyway, unless there's like snow on the ground, you know, 24/7, 365, it had to be one of those 3 months. Unless it was December, and then that really doesn't make any sense because he wouldn't have been, um, he wouldn't have been 5 yet. I don't know. But I remember him being older. Um, I remember it being like really super dark outside. And and I don't know if Aunt Cheryl was married to Jerry or the guy before him first. I mean, obviously she was married to the other guy first, but I don't know if who she was married to at that time when I was 3. That was kind of like There's an episode of Full House where where DJ's saying, "You're going to forget all this," and I want to say Stephanie says maybe I should be taking notes. Okay. Um. Oh, it's the episode where Danny's friend, she's a newscaster. I think it's the episode where Danny's friend is trying to get a job at the same place Danny works, and um and she was saying, I'm gonna call her Stacy. I don't remember if that's her name, but I'm gonna call her Stacy. But Stacy was saying that she remembered DJ from when she was that little, and she was pointing at Stephanie. So that would have been when Stephanie was a baby, or when Stephanie was, I mean, where mom was pregnant with Stephanie, something like that. I don't know why TV sitcoms always had always had that storyline of one of the parents is unalived. Like, I don't remember exactly the storyline on Brady Bunch, but the girls didn't have their dad anymore, and the boys didn't have the mom anymore. And then there was an episode where Bobby was going to run away because they had seen an episode of, or not an episode, they had seen, one of those like after school specials where the step kid, Cinderella, um, she had to go and clean the house and, clean behind the refrigerator and and clean the fireplace, because she fit in there and all that stuff. And so Bobby got it into his head that just because he's a step that a step kid, just because he's a step kid, that means that he's going to end up like Cinderella. Well, that's not true, but nobody told him that. Okay. Well, until life lesson time on the episode, and then it was, no, that's not the way it goes. I just asked you to do that because you fit behind there or something like that, and you like to help out. But that's not why Carol was doing that. It was just because he was this, one of the smallest, and he could actually do it. The thing is that they never tell you who is actually younger. Is it Cindy or is it Bobby? So I have not resubmitted that file. I'm waiting for my sister to tell me that um I'm waiting for my sister to tell me that there's more typos. No, so my idea here is, hey, it sounds like the gardener's gone. Yeah, fat chance of that really happening, but But that's the thing. Um, that's something really cool about any of these places. Like I said, one of them was brand new. It looked good, and we would love to have it. But I don't think we're going to be able to include closing costs and all that stuff in there. And there was one with a really creepy shed. Oh, I said something about that yesterday. Anyway, there was one with a really creepy shed, or at least they were starting to make it into a shed, and then somehow they couldn't afford the house anymore or something because anyway they couldn't afford the house anymore. I guess I actually have no idea you know why they like gave up on it. Maybe they're moving. Maybe they had too many medical bills. I don't know. Speaking of medical bills, my father-in-law is going to dialysis today. I get to take him, and I'm gonna be sitting there bored stupid for 2 hours. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Fun times, yeah. Now I might sit there and read my story. If it's nice and quiet in there, I might. I think it's one of those things like there's an episode of Dr. Quinn where they had to sit still because they were doing the blood transfusion thing, and they're supposed to be sitting still and not talking. Well, it's Sully and his father-in-law, so hold on, I'm gonna go get that. I'll be right back. Okay. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put it on Twitch. So it keeps asking me, do I want to put music on this thing? And I'm like, no. And you know why? Because it won't let me. It's really stupid. It won't let me put music on there. Why bother asking? Just a sec. Well, it's going to be a few of them, apparently. Contradict, Captain. This is stupid. They don't have a button for adding somebody to the Discord until you get to that page. Excuse me. There! Me and Discord don't get along. Okay, no, that's a W. Okay. Oh, friend request was sent to. Okay. And I'm sure my mother-in-law is going to want me over there really early, like 1 o'clock. And we don't have to be there until 3. And they're like, "Oh yeah, there's one near your house." It's not true. Um Basically, if you look up um the road to Tahoe from the freeway in town, if you're pointed at Tahoe, it's to the right somewhere. I know where. We went over and looked at it, and it's like, this is not near the house. He still has to get up to 50 miles per hour to get there. Some of us think he should stop driving. That'd be me and my husband, at the very least. Um, I mean, when you've had almost as many crashes as my grandparents did before they went on their extended vacation, fine. That makes no sense. No, it really makes no sense. Okay. No, that's just causing problems. Finally. See, that's the cool thing about hiding stuff away in the cupboard because you can't see that it's hidden away. There! You see that's empty, so it doesn't need to be here. There you go. Um, Wait, which one? Oh, okay. And in this kind of situation, oh, this kind of situation, you don't want to, like, be throwing stuff in some random chest or barrel. What the heck? Hey! Okay, we'll work on that later. So people keep telling me I need art help, and I kind of feel like I'm being told I'm not good enough. because when I was using the art of Minecraft, it wasn't good enough. Now that I used really cool AI images, well, okay, most of them are really cool. There's a couple of them where one picture has way too many swords, and the other one has Ashley looking like she's little, um, like she's had too much to drink. There you go. So she like needs to sit down, and maybe she needs to take a nap. So anyway, I don't like that, but the one where oh, hard times. The that picture looks pretty good. Um although um although the captain on Pirate's Daughter doesn't look exactly like I'd envisioned, but he does look really cool. um Captain kinda looks like oh, what's his name? Blackbeard from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, but um but like maybe if you mixed him with Davy Jones when he's not authentically and somebody else, and he's dark haired. Well, it's supposed to be a blonde haired person. Okay, so we have I don't think she's a first time chatter, but says Marwa underscore Smith underscore Ava. Was trying to talk to me, but ended up saying, "Hey, talk to me on Discord." I like Discord because Discord has a boop button when somebody's trying to talk to you. On the other hand, YouTube does not. Or, I mean, Twitch does not. I don't know if YouTube does or not because I don't record with my computer. I record with Twitch and YouTube. Well, I record it with Twitch and then load it to YouTube afterwards. So yesterday we actually got our video out at a decent time. I screwed up the day before yesterday because for some reason I thought for some reason I thought the day before yesterday was Saturday. It was Sunday. So I did Disneyland Adventures, and that ended up getting all screwed up because I would do one thing and then I would discover something else that I accidentally clicked on. So I'd have to go and I was doing the street lamps and the flowers and all that, and it just seemed like I kept finding more to do, and I didn't want to do them all in one video, but they ended up being done in all one video, but I don't think it's done yet either. Anyway, and then we do have a first time chatter, Lily underscore Gordon 1. So I try to announce everybody who, chats on here. And I'm eating breakfast at the same time in case you weren't lurking and just literally got on here. Okay, get your little butt out of the way. Thank you. You cannot go in the garage. See, on this file, we got people keeping sheep and chickens and pandas, and see that one over there. That one over there was keeping cows, but they let it out of the yard. It's just roaming the neighborhood. Funny thing is that Mama, she was living in a house, before she went on her extended vacation. But she, I mean, she's obviously not coming back, so it's not really a vacation, but that's the way I like to call it. Anyway, before Mama did that, there was a family that had a pig, and anytime their dogs got out, that was wrong, but the pig was free to roam in the neighborhood. I mean, I don't know if pigs have teeth, but I assume they do since they're shown eating eating corn cobs and all sorts of neat things. I did that, didn't I? I don't know if I did that or not. So, so I'm pretty happy. I've got the truck. I did not want to drive their car. It hurts. Oh, okay. I suddenly discovered something, though. I have no idea what side of the street I'm on. Okay, wait a minute. We did that one. We need to do this one where they're keeping pigs. Well, I could have them have a little pond in the back where they're, where they could keep an ocelot. I don't know if I said that correctly, but oh no. That would be this one. Right? Right. Anyway, I plan to take a shower before I go and do that. Take father-in-law to his appointment, and then somewhere in there I gotta pick up my husband for work. I mean, from work. because he's going to be very tired. But I don't, I've been told that, that the dialysis appointment can take like 2 hours or more. So I don't know, I don't know if it's going to be drop him off and pick him up later, or if it's going to be a just, sit there and wait. I don't know. Let you know tomorrow or later. Either way. I was trying to do stuff on I was trying to do stuff on Dreamlight Valley yesterday, and I found out that I had way more black pepper than I'm ever gonna need. Well, not exactly way more. I just, I have more than I needed, and then I don't remember if it was beetroot. I think it's beetroot. I'm gonna have a ton more than I needed. Because I didn't know that I had more over here and more. I mean, like I have it. I've got a bunch of it planted, but I already had most of them full. I just need to get the chests upgraded, and it'll be um I just have to get the chest upgraded to be a large chest, and it'll be fine. I don't know why my nose likes to do that. I mean, like, my brain just tells me, you've got a runny nose. It's got to, you got to sniff. And I don't have a runny nose. Like, my brain's going on autopilot, and I'm tired of it. And then it was driving me nuts on the way home, because husband likes to go and put it on. No. Hold on. Yeah, no. Husband likes to go and put it on the mileage counter thing and look at the regular speedometer, which means that he's speeding. A lot of the time, I think. He doesn't do it on purpose. It's just you can't tell. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Now, I'm just going by whatever is here. But we need to get this situation dealt with. Where it's got... Oh. No, wait a minute. Oh! I thought like a big old bug was on my TV, and it was leaves falling off that tree over there. That's crazy. No, wait. There we go. And sometimes I think I don't have the correct color. Um, I went through here and put in all the correct colors, and then all of a sudden it didn't have the correct color for some reason. So I'm not really paying attention to Discord right now. That's because I'm trying to eat and I'm trying to. I had a donut earlier, but that was to tide me over for breakfast. And then, like I said, I trying to. I may not have said that actually. I was trying to kill my phone so I'd have a fresh battery for when I take him to dialysis. And sarcastically speaking, it is going to be so fun trying to make the left to go in to the okay, from the direction of their house, you have to make a left from the you have to make a left from the highway, I think you call it. And then a right into the parking lot. And then you gotta go across the parking lot because, of course, it's the building furthest away from you at that point. Yeah. But anyway, we'll be able to get it all done and um you know he needs that because his body just went haywire. Because part of the problem is that this doctor over here told him he had to take this medicine, and then this doctor over here said that he had to take this medicine, but it conflicts with the first medicine, and nobody did any uh nobody tried to do anything. Please tell me. Okay, that's pink, huh? Huh? Wait. I'm confused. Okay. So that's okay, wait. No. The colors are going this way as far as I can tell. Okay, so that's the crimson. That's the warped. That's the bamboo. Okay. And then this is gonna be. So now I figured out that I need to figure out the colors because that one doesn't end in the right color and I don't know. We were just trying to get the the driveways and pathways in there, and we run into a problem that we don't know if that's the correct color. But I know that this is not supposed to be two bamboo houses next to each other, so it started out being one thing, and maybe we'll just call it houses. I don't know. Um, anyway, I gotta go see if I've got any clothes, and if I don't, then I have to go do laundry, and yeah, that's gonna be time consuming. Especially since I told mother-in-law that I would leave at 2. Technically, I told her I leave an hour before we're supposed to be at the appointment. That's just in case there's traffic, in case somebody got pulled over and we couldn't get through, so we had to go the long way around. Um, Hopefully not us. Um, just in case, father-in-law tripped over his feet and we had to get him back up on his feet. I don't see how I'm supposed to do that. I'm not that strong. I can hold our sword, but I don't think I can. Like, when I go later, I'm gonna have to take my purse with me because, if mother-in-law's coming for some reason, and please say she's not, then she might want to, lean on, like she leans on you, which is okay. Except for that she was using my right wrist the first day, and that doesn't work because I have an old bowling injury, and I know you're like, an old bowling injury, what? Yeah, okay, so I have to throw an 8-pound bowling ball. That has been established. It's been a thing for years. I think we were going to college either summer of 97 or summer of 98. And I was like, I want to do it. I want to do this. Except for that, I was not doing good in um, piano or, because it said it was a beginner class, but it's a beginner college class. So that means it's not really beginner. It's people have been playing piano for years, and they just need to, get their music requirement in or whatever. But I really was a beginner, so I was flunking that class. And then the other class that I was not doing so hot in was English. And I don't know why. I did so great when we were going to South Lake Tahoe Community College. I was doing great. I was doing good. Except for that, like I got an A on my final project, so I was like, yeah. I am really good at PowerPoint, so I'm really good at making it look like I know what I'm doing. It's awesome. Um, if you don't know what PowerPoint is, it's a slideshow presentation program. So, like, instead of having the projector and slides and you have to turn off the light, and I mean, they did anyway, but you have to turn off the light and all that, it ended up being, it's all on the computer, And well, y'all know what projectors are because they do the TV thing now. They didn't used to. I kept saying that I would really, really, really like to have a theater room in our house, you know, attached to our house, in our house, whatever. And the really big reason is there's two reasons. One, if you're watching a movie, you want to be comfortable. You want to have those stadium seats, but you want to have the ones with the footrest that goes out. We have a theater seat we have a theater like that in our um, local movie theater, and it was awesome watching Top Gun Maverick in it. Although I gotta say that I was so comfortable that I could have gone to sleep in that chair. I liked it because usually when I'm sitting in a regular theater seat, I'm, kind of squirming a little bit because, I've got that restless leg syndrome, and I don't know why either, but I think mine specifically is, connected to my back somehow. I'm not sure, but I think mine's like connected to my back somehow. So if my feet are up, then I can make the restless leg syndrome be not a thing. And then if I'm, sitting up like you should, apparently, according to somebody, um, if I'm sitting up with the footrest down, then my leg decides to swing. I don't know what this thing is, but it aggravates my back if I sit up without the footrest up. It's really weird. But I've got one of those really cool chairs that helps you up when you need it, and luckily I have not needed it, and thank God I haven't needed it. Um. Anyway, so we had um not yesterday, but the day before, we had um the realtor come, and they just wanted to look at the place, see what was sellable, see what wasn't, and if they need us to, I will get a little thing of paint and or whatever I need, and paint over that creepy face upstairs. Okay, so when they were moving the stuff in, somehow the paint got scratched upstairs, and it just happened to make like eyes, nose, and a mouth. So I'm suddenly wondering, we know what happened to the previous owner, but we don't know what happened to the one before that. And the only reason why I'm saying it that way is because I'm an author. I think of things like that. Also, I used to watch the spin-off show Angel. It's a spin-off show from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And we've seen a lot of the episodes. We've seen like either up to season 3, or um we've got all 5 seasons, but um or do we only have 3 seasons? think we have all five. But anyway, uh, we saw either up to three or up to season four, and then we had to wait because we didn't have it yet, something like that, and we never went back and saw the other two, something like that. Um, or we got like one, two, three, and five, and we're still waiting to get four or something like that. I don't know. Or we were still waiting to get four, so we never went back and watched it. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, so there's an episode of that though. Um, he hired Cordelia Chase. I know you're saying she lives in Sunnydale. Well, her parents, um, I don't know if both of her parents ended up, um, I don't know if both of her parents ended up going to jail, but I'm pretty sure her dad did. Or they at least moved to a uh, foreign country somewhere, where there's no extradition, something like that. Um, I know that's definitely coming from a Fast and the Furious place, but you get what I mean. All of a sudden, spoiled little rich girl is having to go out and find a job, and she's having really big trouble because she wants to be an actress. So, so she ended up going to LA, and she is literally lying to people on the phone. Oh yeah, I've got a nice backyard and a pool boy, and the apartment is awesome, and all that stuff. But she's literally sitting in a apartment eating top ramen and or cup of noodles, something like that, and and you hear crawling in the background. Ugh. Anyway, so in the one episode though, she moves into this really awesome apartment. Except for that, there's a little itsy bitsy problem. She put her she'd go and put her soda can on the table right in front of her, and all of a sudden it would be on the other side of the table, something like that. There was some other stuff going on too, and anyway, it turns out that the lady who owned the building had done something very, very bad by, um, you know what? This is a kid's thing. Anyway, he. Well, I already started this, and mostly it's grown-ups that watch this, so hopefully it's not a too bad of a scary thing. But she had put him in the wall, and then had the wall put up, and and like when Cordelia got there, she's like, "Well, I love this apartment except for that wall." So she's like, "Well, I'll just have it removed." And that's when all the stuff started. And then Angel had to remind her. Angel had to remind her that she's not a little scared Buffy as Cordelia had put it. Cordelia put it as, "I'm not as scared Buffy. I'm Cordelia. I'm the queen bee," or whatever. She talked herself into it, and then she's like, she said something like, "Go away," or whatever she said, and everything was nice and calm after that, except for that um the lady's son is now a phantom or a ghost, whatever, but they call him Phantom, and his name is Dennis. So she goes, Phantom Dennis, stop, I'm on the phone. Something like that. But I said all that because that wall up there, I as soon as that happened, where they made the scratches and it literally looks like a face. As soon as that happened, I was wondering if it was a Phantom Dentist situation. I mean, nothing scary. Nothing scary, paranormal, anything like that has ever happened. It's just that why would the scratches be that exact thing if there wasn't something ishy behind that wall? And what is up with all the realtors going, oh, we can find you a nice rental? Yeah, anyway. So, so I started to tell you what's going to happen in the next chapter. And, I don't know if I'm going to keep it one big chapter or if I'm going to break it up because technically it's like there's this scene and then there's that scene and then there's this other scene and they all come together in the end. So I probably will break it up cuz there's the part where um there's the part where they get to the ferry dock and Jesse's like, I'm sorry, I didn't even think that they might be closed, so I didn't call. I mean, so I didn't think to call to find out if they would be. And it turns out that they're closed that day because it's Christmas. I just figured that, um, the ferry dock workers might want to be home with their families too. And so the scene at I mean so Jesse has a conversation with Hayden. That could be part of this chapter. But um they park the they park the um I ought to have Craig and Tristan um like somebody from the family falling in the icy water below and not dying. I'm not going to have them die. But, like battling for their life for a little bit sometime during some winter. And maybe having to go to the big hospital just because um, Alan doesn't have his doctor's license, but he's the doctor for the ship. Um, yeah. When I come up with that, I came up with that scenario of why he's no longer a doctor, but I did not come up with but I did not come up with like the whole story. And everybody on the, well, maybe not everybody, but a lot of people have ties to the ship before they are a crew member. Like William's mom, they don't know much about her, but they know enough from a report that William did when he was 11 to know that she was a pirate before, before her, uh, before William's dad charmed her into being a wife, wife and then a mother. Except for I think she was a mother and then a wife. So I believe I wrote something about they got married and 7 months later I was born and I wasn't early. Um, Now me personally, I was supposed to be born in August and decided to be born in July. I was supposed to be born on August 5th and ended up being born on July 27th. So if anybody wants to, tell me happy birthday, they can do so then. Um, like I said yesterday, though, in one of my videos, I feel like I should be like, oh my gosh, it's almost 4th of July, yay! And I'm just not feeling it. I mean, like, like I should be super happy. The real actual fireworks, non Minecraft fireworks are going to be going off in just a few days. And like I'm trying to get myself to be happy about that. But so far I'm still like not holiday blues, just although if I wanted to play the holiday blues card, I have plenty of reason for that, but that's not what we're trying to go for. Um yeah, I lost what I was saying. Got distracted by that thing that looks like a pig that's not moving, but I think it's the supposed to be the color of the house over there. Oh, okay. So like the other day, they said whatever we get for this place is going to be put toward what we get for the next place. And the only places that we seem to be able to find are ones out in places that we don't necessarily want to live. But I'm saying, okay, it's a place to live for now. God willing, people start buying my books and we'll be able to save up and buy a place here in town. That's what I'm hoping. Because maybe we'll be able to afford to advertise. I was gonna say Amazon. Anyway, we'll be able to afford to advertise better. Um, advertise to a little bit bigger audience. like advertise on Amazon, maybe um, advertise on Facebook. Um, I've already put a video on TikTok, and people keep, you know, people keep doing, sending me messages, but I don't know how to answer. I don't know how to do it. And my sister's all the way in South Dakota. She was my, um, she's basically my go-to person for, if I don't know how to do something, she can teach me how to do it. But she's not here. Anyway, she finally seems to be she finally seems to be happier because she's doing the DoorDash thing, and um I think she likes it, so I'm hoping I'm right. I mean, obviously there's gonna be that person. Oh, I had to tell her that. Oh my goodness. Okay, so one of our DoorDash or um DoorDash or one of the others, people always say Groupon, but that's a coupon place. Um, I can't think of it. Anyway, they deliver food to your house too. Um, like Uber Eats. That's what I was trying to think of. Um, anyway, but I think it was DoorDash. We would go and order Panda Express. It would always come here cold. Like they had been planning to eat it themselves or something. And the thing was that I would ask for raspberry tea. Well, they started bringing me that acaberry junk, and I don't like it. It tasted dead or something. I did not like that. So, there's a lot of people who love it. Or at least drink it because it's good for you. And I'm like, I don't like it. So, we went to Panda Express and they're like, you have to yell at DoorDash. And we talked to DoorDash and they said you have to yell at Panda Express. So, yeah, we should have gotten our money back. Or at least got a discount on the next meal or something. I don't think we got anything. Anyway, they screwed up. So, if you are a DoorDash driver and somebody asks for raspberry tea, the raspberry tea is in with the fountain drinks, and the acaberry tea is the one that is off in its own little container, and some other kind of tea. I don't remember what it was, or it might have been lemonade, but I think it was some other kind of tea. Or at least here in our Panda Express. We've got 2 Panda Expresses, and I'm really afraid to try the new one because of a little incident that we had with Carl's Jr. Carl's Jr.? Yeah, Carl's Jr. Um, arguing with myself. Anyway, so Carl's Jr. in Reno tastes like a Western bacon cheeseburger. When you buy a Western bacon cheeseburger, tastes like a nice barbecue flavored burger or whatever it's supposed to be, and because it's got the secret Western bacon cheeseburger sauce, I'm sure. And yeah, the one here, just down the street, very disappointing. Tasted like a mustard burger. They did it wrong. But I don't know how to make the secret sauce for a Western bacon cheeseburger, so I can't figure it out. On the other hand, um, the McChicken, I figured out how to make that from home. So you go and buy your favorite tasting chicken patties and you cook it, of course. Uh, Heat it up in the oven, whatever you do to cook it. Um, Preferably not in the microwave. I just don't think it would work very well, but that's my opinion. You don't have to listen to that. But anyway, and then you put mayonnaise and it was mayonnaise, a couple of dill pickles, or relish. No. Yeah. Mayonnaise and a couple. I mean, and a little bit of relish. I want to say it's a sweet relish, actually. Anyway, and you've got yourself a lovely McChicken sandwich without the McDonald's part of it. I think that's how we made it. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, it tastes good, and it doesn't have the exorbitant $10 price for just the sandwich. I haven't been to McDonald's in a very long time, and I just know that last time we did go there, they had raised the prices already. So I'm guessing that they're worse now. Actually, no, I'm all the way to assuming. I'm all the way to assuming. Anyway. Oh, that looked weird for a minute there. So, somewhere in the greater. Okay. I was going to say, somewhere in the um, greater Disneyland area, but then I was like, oh, wait a minute. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're inside Disneyland. And then I realized that they were. They're definitely in Disneyland. So, so since they're definitely in Disneyland, then it makes sense. But uh, okay, so they had two or three. Well, I saw two, so we'll just say that there's two. Um, Mannequins. They were Mickey Mouse, but they were the wrong color because they weren't black. They the one was gray, and the um yeah, the one was like a gray and tan color. It was interesting. And then I may be totally off on my description, but anyway, it was a interesting color. And then the other one was a different color. And at first I was looking at the first one. It's dressed like as far as I can tell, it was dressed like Sorcerer Mickey, but in a like kingly kind of outfit. if it was winter time. Anyway, it threw me off for a minute and kind of made me think they were at some store or California Adventure, but they're in Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Ah, that tastes so good. I don't know why, but they said that if you're diabetic, you should not have like ice cold water. It's like, I don't know why. Maybe you're like freezing all the nutrients from water. I don't know. The thing is that we're gonna have to take him 3 days a week. So that means tomorrow I don't have to, but um, the day after tomorrow, I've got to have everything done. I've got to have everything done by 2 o'clock. That means that means my file. That means my sister's file, or blew her off until Thursday. But I don't want to do that. The problem is I'm making lots of YouTube videos, but I don't have control of her. I mean, uh, I'm making a lot of Twitch videos, but I'm not, uh, I don't have access to her Twitch, so I can't, post them to YouTube. So I feel bad because it's like I'm making all these great videos for her. Maybe she's getting more, maybe my sister's getting more viewers because streaming more often. I don't know, but I don't know, but probably she's getting more viewers just because I'm streaming more often. And, like, I want her to be able to play the DLCs when um, I want her to be able to play the DLCs when she's at home and able to play again. And I'm very much hoping that, like I said, I'm very much hoping that DoorDash can be a career, and because it's something that most people, most people want contactless. At least around here, they want contactless delivery. So you just drop it off on the porch or whatever and walk away. But there's weirdos like me and my husband that would rather know that our food is here, and that would rather our would rather know that our food is here and that's not getting eaten by wild animals. Because I don't know how to contact them, but I would find uh, I would find an Animal Lovers of America group and totally get that person in trouble. Um, like the other day, I got really mad because I looked out my window and I saw that the uh, Amazon driver had parked out in front of our house again. He's not supposed to be blocking the driveway. There's a city ordinance for one, and um, there's a city ordinance for one, and for two, what if I needed to go and what if I happened to have my truck and I needed to go get my father-in-law and rush him to the hospital, or mother-in-law fell down again and has to get to the hospital fast. I'd I'd much rather take them myself because cause this was back when we didn't have I think we didn't have kids. Well, we might have had Ashley, but so like we would have had Ashton, Kylie, and Ashley, but none of the others. If we had kids at that time, and I don't think we did. Um, but the thing is that my sister was at the mall with her friend, and they were going to make a left into the parking lot near the Kaiser Clinic building, and some guy comes barreling toward them and hits them. They didn't have their seatbelts on though. So, I hope it healed good because I haven't heard anything uh different from it, but my sister like hit her elbow on something, so it kind of seized up and didn't want to straighten out without hurting like HE double hockey sticks. And her friend ended up getting a metal piece in his leg, or two metal pieces, something like that. Anyway, yeah. So it was like, thank God that they were there. Uh, I mean, that they were that close because they got an ambulance really, really fast, but it was $500 just to turn the ambulance on. Just for the ambulance to turn on, it was $500. And, think about it, with this inflation, it's probably like $5,000 now just to turn the key. I hope I'm exaggerating on that one, but oi, I'm thinking not. Okay, so of course my sister used to have um she used to have a Mitsubishi, and her seat was so far back because it was messed up and broken. Um yeah, okay. Her seat was so far back that she could barely drive, but that's another subject. My brother had a Mustang one time because of the fact that um his girlfriend had gotten it for a graduation present. And she's like, I don't want that. Most people would love a Mustang. I don't personally want one because I think my stepdad would come back and haunt me. I don't know. I don't remember what the connection was, but I don't remember what the connection was, but I was thinking that he was going to come back and haunt me. Seriously. Um, but the thing is that on the Mustangs that I'm talking about, specifically the Mustangs that I'm talking about, the gas tank was in the back. So if you got hit from behind, you probably weren't going to be alive anymore. So, yeah. But I've tried to tell you about that next part in my story like 16 times now, and I keep distracting myself or getting distracted. So what's going to happen is that Jesse, Jesse is having to drive the minivan instead of Sean because at the dance before the winter dance, that is in the chapter that I just finished, or no, the chapter before the one that I just finished. Um, there was Punch at the dance. Sean knew it had some interesting stuff in it, and he drank it anyway. And then he drove home, and um, when he is drunk and when his dad William is are drunk, um, father, but we don't call him father because William doesn't like being called father. I don't like being called mother. Mom, that's fine, but mother, uh-uh. But anyway, mom, mama, mommy, um, depends on what I say at the time when I'm talking to my cats, but it's usually mama. Um, yeah, I think the last few days I've like really been missing mama, and like I don't want to sit down and at least have Disneyland playing in the background until we have a place to live, you know? But okay, so he pulls into the parking lot for the ferry cuz I looked it up one time and there's a ferry that goes from Ireland to Scotland. And they're supposed to, or I made that up. I'm not sure which now that I think about it. But anyway, there's supposed to be a ferry between Ireland and Scotland, and they're supposed to take it to be over at Ashley and Chantel's grandparents, uh, Hayden's parents, Hayden's their dad, on Christmas afternoon. They're supposed to be there by Christmas afternoon. That was the way that they negotiated it out. Well, the thing was that Sam Crenshaw couldn't, um, couldn't be there Christmas morning because, of course, he's got to be with his family. But he could be there Christmas afternoon and he was going to stay the night. I mean, he's going to stay the night to feed all the animals in the morning. Well, there was something about that. There was something in a previous chapter that the reason why Sam got hired as a ranch hand, so to speak, was because there was too many animals to feed in one day. So, that doesn't make any sense why I just had Sam Crenshaw there. but maybe he, you know, um, maybe he had some of their friends help out or something. I don't know. But anyway, um, the next morning, Sam's gonna answer the phone in his dream, but it's gonna be his real cell phone, and you know, say that he got up early enough to feed all the horses and cats and dogs and things, and he's got Samson there to wake him up if something uh if something went wrong. He went back to sleep. But anyway, so he ends up calling Hayden and saying, unless somebody got a speedboat for Christmas, we're not gonna make it. And Hayden goes, hold on a minute, because his brother Lance, older brother, um, has a speedboat. It wasn't given to him for Christmas, but close enough. He has a speedboat, and it only seats 4 people. The driver, person next to him, and 2 people behind them. So, I kind of want to go back to sleep, and I can't. Because I think it takes about an hour for the washer and about an hour for the dryer. I don't know how long it takes for the washer actually, but it's about an hour, maybe longer than that, but I don't think so. Um, but I probably need to wash um some laundry. I don't do my laundry very often. I was trying to find some of my clothes the other day and I couldn't find anything. It was bugging the heck out of me. Like I have a whole bunch of winter clothes up there in a clean clothes hamper. We don't have. I don't want to use my dresser because it is so old. It might fall apart even more. And it might fall apart even more because somebody was told not to pull the dressers out and he did it anyway. It was not my husband because he knows how much that thing is precious to me. It's a grandpa dresser. Grandpa gave it to me, so it's grandpa dresser. I was told grandpa built that dresser, but I think what they meant was you know how like you go to Walmart and you get the bookshelf kit. It just says it's a bookshelf, but it's a bookshelf kit. It's in a box, you gotta put together. I think that's what they meant, but like I was thinking that it might have been, Grandpa actually built it. So, but even if it's not that he went and took that piece of wood and I mean those pieces of wood and molded it into a dresser, It's still important to me because it's a grandpa dresser, and I would like to have my desk back too. If people would start buying my books, and I could go and trade them because I'm pretty sure it's a homework desk right now. And I think it was supposed to be a vanity, but I always used it as a desk. So, it had a mirror to it, and somehow we broke that, and probably somehow I broke that. I have no idea. So then there was a groove for a mirror, and we never put one back in. So Dad took the groove part out, and Dad took the groove part out, and then it was just a desk, if I remember correctly. I may not be remembering entirely correctly, but pretty close. Okay. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4 to the end. Oh, that's not gonna happen. Nope, nope, nope. That's not gonna happen. So, you might be thinking that I'm planning on turning a copy of this one into next year's fireworks, and no, I'm not. That was so hard the first time. I think I would need a, I think I would need a, I don't know, like stronger console, stronger computer. Um, I mean, I got an Xbox Series X, so it ought to be running on all eight, as they say, or something like that. It ought to be running really, really good. And when it does that fireworks show, it's like, oh, heck no. So I don't know if I need to blow a fan on it when we're doing that or what, but we don't have a fan to blow on it, so. I am getting very, 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 very hot, and that's because the air conditioner is not on. And I didn't want to I didn't want to open the doors because, 63 outside. Anyway, I didn't want to open the doors because the gardener. So, still don't think the gardener is charging that much that they need to charge us that much. So, I might have scared one of our chatters off because I gave them a shout out. because, she never said anything after that. I'm assuming it's a she because it says Lily. But, oh, what was it? I don't know. In some movie, it was clearly, if I'm remembering correctly, it was clearly a guy in a dress. But, oh, it might have been an episode of Murder, She Wrote. I know that sounds really weird, but it might have been an episode of Murder, She Wrote where, um, drag queens. I don't know if there's a nicer way to say that. I'm sorry at the moment. I just don't know. But anyway, it's a club where drag queens go up there and they sing in a falsetto voice. Um, they're trying to sound la 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 la, and normally they sound la 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 la. So but it sounded good. Um, Unfortunately, the guy who plays Kaneki on the movie Grease is uh he's the fiance of Jessica Fletcher, who is the main character in Murder She Wrote, and she's always the one solving mysteries. She goes, she's always going, I'm no detective, but then she goes and solves the case. She's like, oh, well, did you happen to see that gum wrapper over there? And there's only one person who chews that kind of gum in the whole entire building. You know, she comes up with some weird stuff. Of course, I like it when she goes to Ireland. Like, I don't know if they're only allowed to show a handful of episodes, but they do not show you all 11 seasons of Murder She Wrote. They show you um we'll say 25. They'll show you the first 25 episodes, and then they'll show you, 25 episodes from this other season, and that's about it. Wait, did I say seasons or episodes? Because I meant episodes. Anyway, they'll show you the first 25 episodes, and then they'll show you, 25 episodes from say season 3. This is on the Samsung TV Plus. I love that. If you've got internet, you've got TV service. But there's only 2 channels I like to watch, really. There's another one. Well, there's another 2. One of the Western channels actually has Disney's Zorro from 1957 or something like that. I think it's 57 and 58. but they only show it like on, say, Sunday nights. And then there's another channel somewhere around there. I want to say like Ion TV or something like that. And it shows nothing but Blue Bloods once a week. And so then that gets me wanting to put in the DVDs, but I've only no, I might have, yeah, I think I have season 1 through 11. I think that's what I've got is seasons 1 through 11. And so if like 12 ever made it to DVD, I need to get that too. And if there's a season 13 and 14, I'd like to get them. Um, Also, just to throw it out there in case anybody has any pull on the subject or something, I would like to get Initial D from 2010. It's a I assume Japanese anime TV show from 2010. We need season 4. I mean, sorry, no. We need season 5. We've got season 1 through 4. We need season 5 in English. Because I was coming up with all this neat stuff that could happen. Because I was kind of thinking that Natsuki is no longer living with her parents and she's in an interesting situation, for one. And then for two, I mean, well, we know that she had the sugar daddy boyfriend, who was like teacher age. But we know that she had the sugar daddy boyfriend while but she also was dating Takumi at the same time, and she started to tell him about it, but either he was distracted and not really listening, or she chickened out and didn't tell him, something like that. Um, but I think it was she chickened out and didn't bother to tell him. Um, like she just couldn't do it. 'Cause she like dragged him all the way up there and said, um, you know, that she's got something she needs to talk to somebody about, and he needs to hear it from her first. And then she comes out with, I just bought a brand new two-piece. But when they go to the beach, she's not even wearing the two-piece. She's wearing this yellow one piece, and it's like, what the heck? Did they forget that they had her go and say about the two-piece? Or did she decide not to wear it because, some guy would start something? I don't know. But anyway, whatever the deal is, um, she was wearing a one piece. So anyway, but he wins all kinds of races, and she ends up going to Tokyo. Oh, where are they? Where are they? They say it like 600 times, and I can't think of where it is right now. Well, anyway, there's this mountain that they like to drive on. It's not Mount Fuji. Um, but there's this mountain that they like to drive on, and that was one of the things I love about Forza Horizon 6 is that it's in Japan. So it's like, oh, look, I can see all the stuff that, Takumi might have driven on in the 2010 Initial D, because uh, I looked up Initial D on Crackle, I think it was, and it turns out that there's at that time there was 5 seasons, and um and the copy that they had was in English. We couldn't watch it. We were too busy at the time. And then now it's in, I assume, Japanese. So I don't know what they're saying. And I'm really bad at learning other languages unless it's cat accented English. So, so our cat Ben kept coming into the living room and saying something, and it just sounded like a meow. And then I realized he's saying Sam. He's really good at learning his siblings' names. I was trying to get him to say Bob. I know he's not going to be able to say Bob E, but I was trying to get him to say Bob if he's talking to Bobby. And so far he hasn't learned that yet, but a cat that can learn Coral, I'm sure he can handle Bob. I mean, he literally did. When he was younger, he used to say, Coral, Coral. It was a really small apartment, about the size of our downstairs right now. And he kept losing his sister. Oh, yes, that is the right color already. Awesome. Just need to. Oh, no, it looks like we nipped off the top already. Yay! Okay, let's go and make sure all sides are the correct color. Yes, so far they are. Yeah, I'm just being silly right now, but yeah, we're good. And it's got the walkway and the driveway. Yay! I love it when that happens. That's the most awesome thing in the world. Well, maybe not the most awesome thing in the world, but it's awesome when you're building in your Minecraft world and you really don't want to have to go and change the color of that two-story house. So anyway, Hayden and Lance need to go to the that's definitely going to be a different chapter. They need to go to the uh to Lance's house to get the boat. um they need to go to Lance's house to get the boat so they could take it to the dock, and Morgan gets elected to drive because there is no way that Lorna's gonna let her two sons drive any of her vehicles ever again, because Lance crashed one in Lance crashed one at the ferry dock one year and spent the rest of the day fighting hypothermia. So he almost unalived himself. He didn't mean to drive that far. He just, you know, totally did it on an accident. And then another time, I think it was Hayden was street racing in it and crashed into a tree or something like that. I don't know what I wrote. I know he did that with his own car. You are so cute. Oh my goodness, he's such a cute little baby. Where's the mama? Well, that's not the mama. Ooh, that could be the mama. You leave that. Don't you bark at me. You're the one that ate the llama. No, get in the yard. No, get back in the yard. You're not going to roam the neighborhood. Anyway, last I saw, your kid was over here. Okay. Well, fine. You have fun being in the porch. I didn't know the wolves ate llamas. Do wolves really eat llamas? I mean, it's okay if wolves don't really eat llamas, and Minecraft says they do. Yeah, it's a fantasy world. Maybe in this fantasy world, wolves eat llamas. It ain't bugging me none. Um, so they said that Toy Story 5 is coming out soon. And I know I'm really behind on my videos, so just please go with it. And I was like, I don't want to watch it. And you know why? Because in number 3, they had the evil purple teddy bear. I don't remember anything else, and as soon as it was the evil purple teddy bear, I was like, I'm done. I think that was another one of those where I had my headphones on and like had it connected to my tablet or my phone somehow and was listening to something else while they were playing it. I could have been listening to my portable DVD player for all I know. Portable DVD player that I should have turned that back in as soon as we got back. But I was like, okay, it'll play this movie, but it won't play that movie. Which is stupid, because all of my discs are should be pristine. They should be perfect. Maybe not perfect, but they should be good enough for any DVD player to play, and it wasn't. So like, I could play Grease, one of the Harry Potter movies. That's what you get for getting in the way, dude. You move. Thank you. You better not spit at me. Okay, so like llamas, if they spit at you, the spit can get in your eye and give you a very bad infection. So, so this one of the families that went to church with us, um, they were the Huddlestons, and I don't know if they're still alive or not. I hope they are, but if they're not, they're in heaven, so that's okay. Um, but anyway, they used to raise llamas, and they had one mule. The mule was a girl, and the llamas were both. You know, they're male and female. I'm guessing. I think. Okay, I think he said two guys and a lot of girls, something like that. And I think llamas are. Hey, fine, just eat the llama. See if I care. Actually, I do care. I didn't want them to kill the llama. But that's why you don't have a wolf and a llama. And that's actually why the mule was there. Um, what? That's what the that's what the cow. Uh, I mean the cattle owners do too. They have one mule, and the mule just kind of wanders around. But what he's really doing is he's doing security. If there's a wolf that gets in there, or maybe a bear or something, he's not going to go and get the farmer and do something about it. He's going to go and do his, um, his making the mule call, the um, hold on. Huh? Hold on. Duh. Oh, okay. So, dang, last year. It shows how much I look at my messages. Um, Last year on the 9th of October, my phone was dead as a doornail again, and he was asking me milk, cheese, and what? And he's like, too slow. I'm out of here. He probably didn't even wait that long, but apparently, wait. Okay. Um, Wait. When's the first? Okay, today's the 29th. That's Wednesday. Hold on. Well, it looks like on Wednesday that I'm gonna be not streaming, which doesn't help matters because um that's when I'll be able to do more of the routine duties. That's when I'll be able to do my dream snap, all that fun stuff. Well, let me finish this and then I'll end the stream. No, like I said, I'm gonna try to see if I can find any trying to find my shorts or pants. Well, capris, not pants. Um, Something, and what goes on under those, and a way to get dressed after my shower. Anyway, so it looks like I'm not going to be able to stream on Wednesday because father-in-law has a doctor's appointment. But that's primary care, so at least I know where it is. It's not like the eye doctor where he's got one by the he's got one doctor by the hospital, and then he's got the other doctor is over here by the house. Our house. Kinda. Anyway. I'm gonna finish this up and maybe I'll stream a little bit more after my shower, but I don't know yet. I'm probably just gonna go on. I am literally probably just gonna go on. Dreamlight Valley and try to finish up more of that big old project. I am hot. Oh my goodness. I just didn't turn the air conditioner on and I don't have time to turn it on yet. Anyway. So I write books and they are available on Amazon in hardback, paperback, and ebook. Most of them are about my pirates. And they fall in love with somebody and then maybe they break up for a little while, or one of them gets kidnapped and the other one doesn't know where they are for a couple of years, or in Jake's case, oh my goodness, he was 18 when he lost her. No, he was 17. She was 18. She had just turned 18 like a week ago. Or was gonna, no, she was gonna turn 18. I made her born on Christmas Day. Or Christmas Eve, one of those two. I think it was Christmas Day though. So anyway, she was gonna, or the week before Christmas. Anyway, in December. Her birthday's in December, so so she got shipped off to her aunt because they were gonna get married as soon as they were both 18. Well, she wasn't 18 yet, and her mom passed away. Her dad was nowhere to be found. presumed dead, but not official or anything. And then it ended up that, um, she got shipped off to her aunt's house by Child Protective Services, which is actually a sore subject for me, but that's not the point here. Anyway, and she was supposed to be coming to be there on Christmas Day or the week after Christmas Day, something like that. Um, anyway, she was definitely supposed to be there, like say by January. And they didn't show up. Their stuff showed up, but they didn't. And it's like, okay, what the heck? Well, somewhere in there they get the information that her aunt is not alive anymore because she got stabbed by enemy pirates and Michelle got grabbed by them. Well, Jake is like, I ain't taking that lying down. I'm gonna go after her. But he caused some chaos. He caused some chaos the day that she got shipped off to, um, she got taken away by Child Protective Services. It was like 1 day or 1 week, like I said, before she was supposed to turn 18. And so, anyway, he's like, I'm not taking that line down. And he comes up with the plan that he's going to go to college in France um, where Michelle's aunt was living and see what he can do. Well, he gets there and he just finds this map, a little small map, hand drawn, and shows where she's supposed to be. But he doesn't understand what it's pointing to. So, he got put in juvenile hall for a little while, and uh, or was it just straight up? Anyway, he gets put in like a juvenile hall thing, and he isn't allowed to get out on good behavior, I don't think. But anyway, he finally gets out and he's, like 19 by that time. And it turns out that he meets his best friend Hayden from when he was growing up on the ship with Morgan. He goes and meets Hayden in a cafe, and they get an apartment together. Well, then it turns out that the job that they have isn't quite good enough for them to pay the rent all by themselves. So they have their new friends, Mitch and Jason and Josh and Peter, move in with them. And then paying the rent is easy. It's perfect for a while. Anyway, that's the book that I've been avoiding editing because, I like the Sean and Ashley books even better. So, I'm thinking though that I need to go and write a book about Alan because, because there's certain things that happened in his life that need to be told. But then there's people like Mitch who his story doesn't really need to be told. So I kind of want to put it in a book where it's, chapter 1, Mitch, chapter. No. It would probably be chapter 1, Alan, and then chapter 2, um, Mitch, and chapter 3, Jason, something like that. They don't have a very big story, but there is a story there. So, I don't know if I'm going to write that, but I think I probably ought to. Because it's supposed to be like, this is where we came from, and then this is where we ended up. And, you know, I'm like, I'm thinking, it needs to be written, but then I'm thinking, does it really matter? Because I'm putting little tidbits like that in the book. But I think it kind of does matter because Alan in one of the books says, believe it or not, I used to be able to kick the butt of whoever was trying to, can't think of the word right now. You're walking down the street and the guy comes up with a knife and threatens you and says, give me all your money, Alan used to be able to stop those kind of people in his younger days, and he's only 10 years older than most of everybody else. You know, he's 10 years older than Morgan, is exactly how it's said. So he's 9 years older than wait, is he 9 years older than William or 11 years older than William? Can't remember if William's a year younger than she is, or they're the same age, and or is it that Hayden and Morgan are the same age? I can't remember. It doesn't usually matter, you know. It's just it doesn't matter usually, but sometimes it does. And like when you're writing a book, you gotta think of, okay, I said she was 13 years old in this part of this book. And if she hasn't had a birthday and then all of a sudden you say she's 14, then, that's you messed up. um, like I was very much struggling because I wanted Ashley and Chantel to be 2 years apart, but bestest best friends. Even though they're sisters, they're bestest best friends. You know, they're that kind of sisters. Um, like if Ashley's got a secret and she definitely does not want to tell Hayden, Chantel's not the one that's gonna be like, Dad, Ashley's dating Sean, you know, or Ashley's not gonna be like, hey, Dad, Chantel's got a secret, and it's that she's dating Jesse behind your back. She's not gonna be that sister. Now, Sunny and Eve, because they're so young, they're like 4. Or at least in one of the stories they're 4. Um, like I didn't develop this with all these characters in mind. I developed certain parts to be just like just Sean and Ashley, or just Sean and Ashley and Jesse and Chantel, or like maybe they're um grounded in the room with Morgan and Hayden, and so there's those 4 and then Morgan and Hayden, but nobody else. So anyway, there's like a whole bunch of parts um where I tried to uh I like tried to fix that. Cause like during a bachelorette party, Craig and Megan, they're the kids of Mitch and Rachel. Mitch is the head mechanic. If you want to work on that engine in the ship, you better have his permission. Or like one time, Dawn, I didn't say that she impressed the heck out of him, but Dawn pointed out that there's a piece in the engine that wasn't uh there was a piece in the engine that wasn't working, and she pointed out, well, that piece is making that piece work overtime, so you're gonna have to replace that part too. And Mitch and Craig look at it and go, yep. And so they decided to put that on the shopping list too. And they'll work on it when they get home, kind of thing. But anyway, there's I I had to come up with a little brother because all of a sudden there was a baby on the floor and clinging to Rachel's leg, and I was like, "Oh, well, we need the baby in the scene." So I decided that it's the bachelorette party and it's happening right before the wedding. Um, or at least I think it was. Um, pretty much right before the wedding. And no, 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 no. The bachelor party was right before the wedding. The um, bachelor the bachelorette party was the night before, something like that. Anyway, but something happened, and Ryan is sitting there. Maybe it was just before the wedding. Anyway, Ryan's sitting there on the floor, and he's wearing nothing but a diaper because, you know, uh, his mom Rachel had him in a suit, and he looked really cute and everything. But he's like his father, and he don't like suits. He got out of it. But anyway, so I've been trying to tell you this like 50 million times already. So Hayden and in a separate chapter, Hayden and Lance are driven to Lance's house by Morgan, and then they go and rescue the teenagers. That part where they're having to go to Lance's house to get the speedboat um, to get the speedboat is going to be its own chapter, and then them, well, I don't know if them going back to Lorna's house is going to be a separate chapter or not, but I know that um, opening presents and opening presents and oh, hey, look, I got the, oh, I missed it. Okay. Um, so I was trying to end this stream and I haven't done it yet. I can go until noon, but I don't want to push it that far, just in case I do have to do laundry. Okay, so what was I gonna say? Oh, so there's a scene where they're opening presents, and then there's dinner later that night, and then there's the part where Cameron, Lorna's husband, tells the boys that they can move the coffee table if they'd like, but they're definitely sleeping down there on the floor. I think in sleeping bags. I'm pretty sure in sleeping bags. But anyway, they're supposed to sleep on the floor, and and by that time, Sean is so angry that he thinks about throwing the coffee table into the other room, but Sean goes. I mean, Jesse goes. I like where your head's at, but let's move it nicely. And well, I think he's the one that suggested moving it nicely. Anyway, whatever. So, okay, like I said, I write books. They're on Amazon in hardback, paperback, and ebook. They ship everywhere that Amazon ships to, and they're available for free shipping on orders of $25 or more. You would think that they would do a little bit better for me, giving me a little bit more money since I do so much advertising for them. Um, I mean, I'm advertising my books, but I'm also advertising Amazon, who is selling my books. So yeah. Anyway, Pirate's Daughter, Misfortune, and Hard Times are $26 for the hardback. Esperanza's Party is 24. The Island is 25. Lessons in Love is 27. And Coral is not available in hardback at this time. It may never get there, but I hope it does. It just wasn't enough pages. It wanted it to be like 36, and my goal was 24, or maybe it was 48. The book is 26 pages. One of them is blank though, so it doesn't really count. But it is like 26 pages, or two of them are blank, something like that. I don't know. I could get up and look, but I really don't want to right now. Um, anyway, all of my books are $20 each for the paperback, except for Coral. It is lovely. Is a lovely bargain at $6. Staying hydrated. And then for ebook, Coral is $2.99. Pirate's Daughter and Esperanza's Party are $3.05 each. All of the others are $5 each. If you're watching me on Twitch right now, please follow and chat. If you're watching me on YouTube right now, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Notification bell, please get those valid public watch hours up. I love what you've done so far. We were right around 1,280 last time I checked, and we just need to get up to 3,000. So please help me get there, please. And please buy my books. And as soon as I can, like I'm hoping that maybe we can like maybe we can get the 4-bedroom house and set up an office. I don't really want to be in an office. I like being in the living room, but maybe for commercial recording, commercials about my books. Maybe for that kind of thing, I can actually have an office where I go in there and um and there's less chance of there being kitty cat noises or husbands or lawnmowers or whatever. Um Anyway, I will see you in the next stream or video.